Good afternoon, babe. Happy Thursday.
You probably think I'm shady, girl. I know, but I ain't gon' fucking bounce. I'm feeling you. I wanna get to know you, so let's have pillow talk. You probably think I'm shady, girl. I know, but I ain't gon' fucking bounce.
Oh my God, babe. What in the hell is going on? Talk to me. Talk to me. I did drop the link in case anybody wanted to come up here and pillow talk before we take a nap because I'm just tired. What's up, Tatiana? What's good, Mike sis? Well, you be careful. I don't want to see you typing no more, okay? But we won't do the typing and driving over here. But thank you for coming. Tasha K has definitely lost her marbles. Um, I feel bad because I just seen a petition to get her channel removed, and in no way, shape, or form would I sign a petition to have her channel removed. Yes, she has done a lot of things out of spite and pride. Um, like Jay-Z said, pride won't let me show it. And that is true, true Tasha K fashion, and I'm like, Tasha, just say I'm sorry. You know, things were presented to me in such way I was so desperate to have something on you. Because that's where I think it all started from. Cardi not paying Tasha any attention, then Tasha being resentful towards that, and then going full attack mode, which, vibes don't always click, and that's understandable. But you could tell from Tasha's point of view that it was a vendetta, and she was willing to get her hands on anything. And her situation with Cardi should be a lesson to all of the smaller YouTubers, bloggers. If you have a vendetta against someone, make sure that you are checking the receipts and facts and make sure it is nothing that's going to really damage a person because you wouldn't want that done to you, right? Now, talk to me, babe. You wouldn't want nobody to do that to you. So, when I look at situations like that, I'm like, as much as Tasha should have apologized, and when Cardi asked her to take down the videos, she should have taken them down and just bowed out gracefully. But, you know, she got big kahunas. And she said, no, I'm not taking down shit. Bitch, take me to court. I'll wipe my ass with the NDA. I'm just, oh man. Every time I just think of it, I'm like, girl, why? You could have saved yourself. Like I said in the other video that is blocked. I'm pissed. Like I said in the other video, is you could have saved yourself $4 million. Tasha next court date is February, March. This video will destroy her. Okay, so what is coming up on? See, this is when I get upset with myself because I don't have all the information. But my babe, Tatiana, my sis babe can come through with the tea. Yeah, at the next red light, let us know what this video is like. What are they gonna be talking about? Like for Tasha to be going just so hard. Both of them was pregnant. Like that kind of bothers me. Like we both pregnant women. It's hard enough being pregnant, but then we got to be beefing with each other. Yeah, I know you've been following. You gets into the tea, honey. But being pregnant is hard enough, and then you got all these emotions, and maybe it was the emotions of pregnancy. See, okay, let's go ahead and give it another light. Maybe Tasha didn't mean to first go so hard on Cardi, but her pregnancy hormones didn't allow it. Didn't allow her to shut the fuck up. But that's when you have your team available, and she's always prided on, I'm not going to let nobody shut me up. I'm not going to let nobody shut me up. Okay, but that's the reason why you have a team, to make sure you're not saying the things that could later down the road cost you. So where was her team when she was having these frantic moments and basically manic, moments, when she would be pissed at Cardi, or she would get some news about Cardi and just go full in? Now, her husband is a great, 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 great guy. So, I wondered, does he have the strength to calm her down? Some men don't mind when they women just go all in. And then some men like, you need to sit your ass down somewhere. I don't know. As an African man, I would see him very masculine and not, with the shits. But I don't know. The African men I know don't play that. A woman is just to be seen and not to be heard type shit. So I don't know. It kind of confused me. And I'm a refresh my screen because I can't see my comments anymore, and I hate when it does that. Hold on. All right, I'm back. Now I see. So next court date will determine what will happen to her YouTube channel, and she comes and do a video like this. Yeah, Tasha was very holy last night. She was looking godly. She looked nice. Now, no shade, no tea. She did look nice. However, I was watching Royal Blue Tarot, and shout out to her channel. She said it was the eyes, and as I look back at a couple of people's um, thumbnails, and she did look like she was in a second place. Now this is alleged and all, in my opinion. Y'all know how we get down at pillow talk. We just pillow talking about some other bitches, some other nigga. Period. But it's just like I don't know. I got it's so many things are coming from different. I try to be unbiased, and I like Cardi, and I guess I could say I'm a ex mini wino. My mama is a full wino, honey, but and she's still a wino to this day. Like my mama was really, really upset last night. Why are they doing this to Tasha? I'm looking like, Ma. Tasha did this to herself. But she's a black woman, babe. I'm like, I get it, but Tasha need to learn how to control herself. Yes, it's good for entertainment purposes when she gets all on there and she's all comic and roboting and swinging through the chair and all that. I get it. I get it because we all bring our character. As content creators, we bring our characters on live. So I get it, but at the same time, there should have been a stopping point. Somebody should have mashed the brakes on it. He said exactly. Cardi told Tasha to drop this. She said, "We both are mothers. Let's drop this." And Tasha was like, "No, you will pay me." Exactly. Why? Why all that? Like, she gets real cocky with it. And I get it. But at the same time, she wasn't giving you no pushback. Like, she wasn't trying to come at you. You wanted to fight. So then when she fought your ass and won, now it's kind of like, oh, um, damn, why ain't nobody tell me? Why ain't nobody press the brakes on me? And I see that same situation trickle down all the way to people with like 500 subscribers. Like, what the hell? People will literally attack a person that ain't saying nothing to them, not a damn thing. Then when they attack back, they run. Nah, let's duke this thing out. I was trying to let you go, like, leave me alone. I was trying to be a peacemaker. I just was letting you know, just please don't mention me, take my videos down, because my money is bigger than your money. And I will drain you. I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, babe. They have filed for bankruptcy already. So they about to file for bankruptcy again. You say your mom used to be a wino. My mama is still a wino. She was so upset last night. I said, poor thing. I was just looking at her like, but that's how most winos are. They ride for her. They ride for her, Tasha. Hey, I don't blame. That's how you know you got loyal supporters. When you fucked up, when you fucked up out here and they still supporting you. That's how you know you got loyal supporters. Because the unloyal ones is gonna be like, no, this bitch fucked up. I'm out. He said Tasha was lucky. She got a fair, good Asian judge. She will get one of the white judges from the South and throw her ass in jail for exactly. Let her been down here in the Carolinas and got one of them country neckbone eating judges. They were like, he would have wanted to teach her a lesson. Yes, he would have wanted to teach her a lesson. Like, you just can't go up on your platform spewing all this hate, taking receipts from people that are not even true. And for my fellow CCs, my fellow content creators, no matter how much you don't like a person, please make sure that you fact check the receipts that are given to you about the person that you don't like before you start to spew that on your platform, because it later on can bite you in the ass. And that's just real G shit that I'm gonna spit to you. Real pillow talk shit. I'm serious. Like, make sure that you verify the receipts, because anybody can tell you something about a person that may not be true just because they don't like that person. And babe, when I was going on, I was like, why are rest in the front row? See, now she in the courtroom. Tatiana, now she in the courtroom with IRS is ready to clank her ass because she ain't paid taxes in 3 years. Now she didn't put this unnecessary attention. Like for real, for real. You didn't put this unnecessary attention from the IRS. You supposed to be laying low, playing slow. But nah, she want to get up. She want an AK-47. That mouth is an AK-47 for sure. That motherfucker is lethal. Pissed her off, and she go. She gonna go off, and I get it to a certain extent. I get it because it's imitating. It's entertaining. That's why I get it. Other than that, I don't get it. It's just like, mm-mm. So now that we done talked about a little bit of Tasha, I wanted to cover that, because that's very funny to me. So at the end of that shit is funny. I wanted to go over. I don't know. Y'all remember Kanika? Kanika Jenkins? R.I.P. to Kanika. So Kanika was found murdered. Let me, because I want to get my facts straight before I say anything. Talking about, no, you never heard of Kanika Jenkins? Oh, okay. We about to play a little video so you can hear it, and then I won't have to say anything incorrectly. All right, let's. Um. All right, girl. This multitasking. I am not a multitasker at all. So this is something new to me. All right. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Let me mute myself. Okay, I forgot you're driving, Tatiana. So let me speak. I'm gonna read off what's on the thing for you. Hold on, let me play this back. Child. Mute this so it won't be no echo. Okay, Kanika death was ruled an accident, but her family believes there is more to the mysterious fatality. Kanika 19 was at a hotel party with friends in the early mornings of September 9th, 2017. Around 3:30 a.m., Kanika separated from the group and found herself in an empty hallway on the basement level of the hotel. Surveillance video shows the teen stumbling, wandering around aimlessly. Lubeck was drunk and visibly intoxicated. Kanika was last seen alive as she staggers out of frame in the hotel's unused kitchen. Almost 21 hours later, her body was found by an employee, frozen solid in the kitchen's walk-in freezer.
I have that subject in the kitchen in a freezer. She is frozen solid.
Kanika was pronounced dead at the scene. 6 weeks after her body was found, a medical examiner cited the cause of death: a hypothermia influenced by alcohol consumption and a prescription drug. Officials stated that there were no signs of foul play or sexual assault. Yet for Kanika's family and many following on social media, things just don't add up. The drug found in Kanika's system was used to manage epilepsy and migraines, and Kanika had neither condition. Those who knew her best claimed it was highly unlikely Kanika was willing to take pills that night and believed that they were slipped into her drink. Her mother believes that police bungled the investigation by not taking the case seriously from the start.
911, where's the address of your emergency?
Yes, I'm at the
Hi,
Crown
Angela.
Plaza. My daughter came to a party here last night. She's not able to be found now.
It is only a couple hours since you hadn't seen her, correct? Or since her friend supposedly hadn't seen her?
Correct. Let's say about 3 to 4 hours now.
What I would recommend, just, go home, relax a little bit, give it some time. Of all we know, she very well could still be in the room. She could just be passed out.
Police didn't start searching for the missing teen until 5.5 hours after the initial 911 call. Kanika's family believed that if police acted sooner, they might have found Kanika, and I agree with that as well, in time to save her. Because of all the public scrutiny of this case, Rosemount police have released thousands of case documents, including crime scene photos, surveillance photos, and video of how to get out of that particular freezer. Images released of Kanika's body sparked more questions. The photos showed the teen's clothes disheveled, leading some to believe that there was a sexual assault. Experts say that in the last stages of hypothermia, a victim will start to feel like they are overheating and will commonly try to take their clothes off. Kanika's family is suing the hotel for $50 million in damages. They are citing negligence and say kitchen access by guests should have been restricted and the freezer should have been locked, like other freezers in that same hotel. The internet is weighing in and its own conspiracy theories. A comment in social media video taken at a party made some internet sleuths believe Kanika was killed for $200 by a blood gang. That theory was dismissed by partygoers, who said the $200 was to pay a fine for losing their hotel parking ticket. The other questions was the freezer was even on, since the kitchen was under construction and not operational.
All right.
Stop playing. So yeah. Oh, not that. Well, let me get myself together. So yeah, Kanika Jenkins, R.I.P. to Kanika Jenkins. This was back in 2017 to celebrate a birthday as well as her getting a new job. It was one of her friends' birthday parties. So they all in there turned up, as teenagers, we in our zone, we in our mode, we listening to music, drinking. We ain't supposed to be doing none of that, drinking or smoking. But we live in the life, the teenage life. So she gets too turned up and everybody is ready to leave. They bring her out into the hallway, her friends that are also intoxicated, but then one of her friends couldn't find her cell phone. Now, Kanika was supposedly the drunkest one of the group. She was the one that could not hold herself up, that she was very incoherent. Like, she needed attention for real. She needed that one friend. Us ladies, we always got that one friend that makes sure that we always good at all times. She needed that one friend, and it was supposed to be this young lady that I am going to bring up that I wanted to talk about. But I got to give y'all a backstory, especially if you don't know about it. Monifa was supposed to be her best friend. That one friend that's supposed to look out. But Monifa was like, I can't find my cell phone. Let's go back into the room. Kanika, they left Kanika in the hallway, drunk. But Monifa took everybody else with her. It was like 5 of them. Took everybody else in the hotel room, left Kanika out in the hallway, and they're searching for, Monifa's cell phone. Well, once they find the cell phone, they come back in the hallway. Kanika gone. She drunk. She probably trying to find a bathroom. I don't know. She might have been trying to look for a man. I don't know. Things go through your head when you that drunk. I don't even like getting drunk in hotels no more after this. Yeah, I was all up in the conspiracy. This thing, it drove Bae crazy. Like, I was literally up like, oh my God, they done killed this poor girl. As many hotel parties I done been in and everything. I could have been one of them people. Oh my God, I could have been a Kanika. I started to get worried. Yes, all for a cell phone. She left her friend out there drunk and not able to really, fend for herself. But anywho, so, Monifa calls Kanika's mom and says, I can't find Kanika. I went to go look for my cell phone, left her out in the hallway, and she's gone. So the mom waits a little bit and then calls the police, and the police don't do anything, which is normal. They give it some time for the person to show up. Can't really be too mad at them, but at the same time, like, yo, y'all could have, it was the hotel. Like, how far could she have got out of the hotel? Security only had to look at footage. That's it. And they could have seen where she went to and saved her. But they're thinking it's a teenage girl. She probably went to her boyfriend's house and ditched her homegirls. We all get drunk and we want to go see where Bay at. Where's Eddie at? In here. So that's what they said. About 5 hours later, that's when they decided to get on the case, and that's when they found Kanika. Well, Monifa didn't have kids at the time. This was back in 2017. And what I'm going to play for you guys is that she ended up getting pregnant. And looks like she didn't got taken custody. Her kids got taken custody of. They came and got her kids. So I wanted to play this for you guys. Let me go ahead and bring it up, because when I seen her, I was like, oh my God. And why I'm bringing that up, because it take me forever and a damn day. Y'all go ahead and jam a little bit.
So we'll piss off the neighbors in the place that feels the tears, the place you lose your fears, yeah, reckless behavior, a place that is so pure, so dirty and raw. In the better days, fucking in fighting on. It's a paradise and it's a war zone. It's a paradise.
I don't know about y'all, but I'd be whole life jamming one. I can't even do what I'm supposed to do because I be dancing too much. Oh, I gotta get it together one day, just not today. Okay, that's the wrong one. See, I told you I ain't even doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Look, y'all jam one more time for me.
So we'll piss off the neighbors in the place that feels the tears, the place you lose your fears, yeah, reckless behavior, a place that is so pure, so dirty and raw. In the better days, fucking in fighting on. It's a paradise and it's a war zone. It's a paradise.
Okay, I'm back. Y'all are so sweet. Thank you for being patient with my ditzy self, because I am so ditzy. Yesterday I was on live doing my sports talk Tuesday. Well, it was on a Wednesday. I knocked over a whole cup of water. Yeah, it'd be like that. Anywho, so shout out to Zillionaire Entertainment TV. He has a lot of coverage, a lot of coverage. He has a lot of coverage of the Kanika Jenkins story, as well as other stories that's, prominent in the Black community. So make sure y'all go check them out, okay?
Subscribe and all of that good stuff. Also become a monthly member so you can get perks to the channel. Now, I get a lot of emails. Once you become a public figure on YouTube, you get a lot of emails. My channel is headed towards 8 million to 10 million views, almost 50K subscribers. And I get a lot of emails. And some emails, I'm like, you're trolling me. Some emails, I can tell when the person is being honest and telling me the truth. I got an email said Monifa lost her kid. So, and then they started giving me, what's going on. This is a person in Chicago. I'm going to keep their name anonymous. I'm not going to tell you. When people email me, I'm not telling you their name. I'm keeping their name protected. They said, look into this. Monifa no longer has custody of her kid, nor issue with the baby father. Boom. They gave me some information. They gave me some links. And as you look on Monifa's, all her Facebook pages, all you gotta do is click on the links. She does not have one picture of her child on any of her Facebook's pages. Now, she got pregnant last year. She already.
Now, right then and there, I got to put the pause and throw a flag on the play. Monifa really went through a lot after Kanika's death. She went through a lot. It was very, very damaging to her. She felt like she wasn't there for her best friend. A lot of people said she was the reason that Kanika died, or she was the reason, because I don't know. I don't want to say she got killed, she was murdered, and I don't want to say that she just passed away from hypothermia, because I don't know. They say take what the government give you, but not all the time. Sometimes you just got to wonder. So I really, really think that, I really know that she received a lot of backlash. That guilt tore her ass up. And then social media made it worse, because social media was saying, oh, you set her up, you did this and you did that, you the one that killed her, you because she was much prettier than you. Like, really, really, tore her self-esteem down, probably, as well, because they were saying that she was ugly and Kanika was so much prettier than her, and she was jealous of Kanika, and just saying foolish stuff. And because she was not there for her friend like she should have been, when she was young. She was young, I understand. I get it. But by me saying all that, when she has a baby, and she probably like, I'm not putting my child on social media so y'all can scrutinize her or tear her ass up too, like y'all been doing me. Like, sometimes you got to put a break. You got to break on the social media. Just because she's not posting her kids does not mean that she doesn't have custody. Because what they're trying to title this as, she's a bad friend and a bad mother. Yeah, you have to take yourself off of social media. Just say, I'm done. And if for your own mental health, for one, you got to say, I'm done and over with this one. But let me go ahead and play it.
He had the baby. All right. And I'm like, wow, what mother has a child that has no pictures on none of her Facebook page? Somebody said her family, her mother, and her people's. They said her people's They watched it. They got the kid because Monifa's not fit. All she want to do is get high and party. And as we see all through the internet, and I done post many videos where she was high off that Molly, and her jaw was moving to the side. And every time you turn around, she's partying with a bunch of new girls. And I'm like, yo, this is deep. What mother has a baby? Ask yourself, what mother, any mother, has a child, a baby, and don't have one picture on the internet of their child? Show me one.
Hey, Kamisha, what's going on, lady? Shout out to you. Y'all go check out Kamisha reviews. But just because, like, this doesn't even make sense to me. Like, for real, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, they're over analyzing this young lady. Said she got the lockjaw. Well, is she a pit bull? I mean, god damn. Why does it have to be all of this? Thank you so much, Kamisha. I appreciate it. Like, why does it have to be all this? She made one mistake. Yeah, the man said she be on that Molly. You steal with the lockjaw. Well, goddamn, did she bite you? I mean, Jesus. She may be far out there, but you got to understand of what she's been through, especially with the internet. Being scrutinized, being told you're ugly, you're not beautiful, your friend was much beautiful than you were jealous of her, you set her up, you killed her, this and that and this. She probably went into a depression, and this man is saying he sees her with all these different girls. Yeah, probably nobody wants to be her friend. They only want to be her friend for a fun time and not a long time. You know? Nobody is right there by her side, like young queen, hold your head up. It's more out here. You ain't got to be getting into all this, understand your hurt, your pain, but you ain't got to be doing all this. But to make accusations that she don't have her kids just because she's not posting them on social media, or the child on social media, I think it's a little bit far-fetched. Well, we don't listen.
That you know of that has a kid and there's no pictures. When a woman has a baby, they're happy. They're always showing pictures of their baby. No pictures. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. So there's a lot of truth in what this person is saying, and they know, the person that sent me the email, they are in Chicago. All right, they know what's going on. They're in the area. I'm keeping the name anonymous. But as when people email me, I don't always go off of what people say. I like when people show me what they're talking about. Like, show me how can I look this up? Or give me something solid that I can go off of. And this person did. Like, checking into this, checking into that. I'm like, wow, this is deep. No pictures of her kid. And the pictures she had with her boyfriend, her baby daddy, she took them pictures. All those pictures are down. All she has pictures of her partying with these new group of girls. Because, that's all she want to do is party, party, party. And like I keep telling everybody, she's going to catch the worst end of this Kanika karma. And she was a bad friend. I never thought her to be a good mother anyway. She's too narcissistic and selfish to be a mother. And a lot of women are.
Whoa. Time out. What the fuck? Dude, I fucks with you, zillion. But come on. First of all, as a male, you'll never know what it is like to be a mother. So please, sir, don't comment on mothering. You may have received mothering, but you don't know how it is to be a mother, okay? So I got to time you out on that one. Yeah, like, he really went in on her, saying that she was narcissistic and she wasn't a good friend. Yeah, she made a mistake that she will forever pay for. She will forever pay for. She don't need no karma with that because internally, she's always going to feel that. Nobody has to tell her that. Being a friend is being a friend. Now you're not always going to be that perfect friend, but as long as you're there until the end, that's what friends are for. Yes, she fucked up. She was fucked up. That's a little wordplay, but she wasn't in her right state of mind, and neither was Kanika. For you to sit up there and say that this woman is a bad friend, so I already knew she was going to be a bad mother, dude. Fuck you. It's some hoes I can't stand now. That don't mean I'm a bad mother. That is the life I created. Okay. I've created 3 of them. So to sit up here and say, because I may have made one mistake being a bad friend to one individual, that I'm a bad mother, go to hell with gasoline draws on, sir. What's up, LNC? How you doing, baby? I am upset. This has me a little bit flustered. I'm getting a little pink. Very, very. Like, and I love my fellas, but this dude right here, he kind of, I don't know. He's had it out for Monifa. Because he honestly and truly believes that Monifa had something to do with the death of Kanika. And I get it. I get it. But to go that far to say this lady is narcissistic and because she was a bad friend, she will forever get the Kanika karma and she's going to be a bad mother, or she is a bad mother. Just, yo, we got to do better. That's all I got to say. Yeah, that's all I got to say. But shout out to Zillionaire Entertainment for providing this commentary so that I could provide my commentary. Hey, we all gonna get rich, okay? But look, if y'all ain't got nothing else to talk about, we gonna go ahead and get up out of here. I'll let y'all discuss amongst in the chat real quick while we dance a little bit.
So we'll piss off the neighbors in the place to feel the tears, the place to lose your fears, yeah, reckless behavior, a place that is so pure, so dirty and raw. In the better days, fucking and fighting on. It's a paradise and it's a war zone. It's a paradise.
Okay. All right. I forgot my mom wanted me to play this video. My bad, y'all. I don't know much about it, but we will have a little video watch time real quick. Let me remove this. Look, I didn't dismiss y'all. Like, no, come back. Yeah, let's do it like that. Now I'll go ahead and read over thank you for coming back. Whoever you are. I didn't dismiss y'all and was like, hold on, I got one more thing. But shout out to Wicked Psychology. This video is Michelle Blair, bodies kept in the living room for years, criminal psychology, confession. Mitchell Blair was a mother of 4. She kept 2 of her children in the freezer for over 2 years after murdering them. Let's take a deeper look into the true crime case and the criminal psychology of a truly wicked. My mom, she wanted me to discuss this. I was like, Mom, this is just too much. But she wants us to pillow talk about this, okay?
Or demons, period. I don't feel no remorse for the death of them demons.
Abuse as a child can be extremely detrimental to the development of the brain. Research shows that child abuse is associated
Okay,
with
they call her
structural
freezer
abnormalities
mom.
of the corpus callosum. The corpus callosum is part of the brain
See,
that connects
I
the two
haven't gotten
hemispheres
into
so they can
this,
communicate
but
with each
we
other.
can listen and get
Conduct
into it.
disorder, also known as CD, is associated with abnormalities of the corpus callosum. Conduct disorder is characterized by aggressive, deceptive, and destructive behavior. Today's video is about Michelle Blair, a mother who would murder 2 of her 4 children after her youngest child accused them of sexually abusing him. Michelle herself was sexually abused as a child, and we will see her exhibit many of the traits of conduct disorder. Today's video will also show how family, friends, and the system failed Michelle's children at the hands of such a wicked person.
Music is too loud. I
In
just
most
want
states in the
something in the
U.S., a
background.
parent must give the government a notice of intent to homeschool a child before pulling the child from school. However, there are 11 states that don't require any notice or follow-up contact with the government when a parent homeschools a child. One of the state knowing
So now, since the panorama, a lot of people are homeschooling their children. I was forced to homeschool my children at once panorama really came out. But once they was able to go to school, bye, y'all got to go. And when we kind of barricade, now this is my opinion, when we kind of barricade ourselves onto like our 4 walls and we don't get out here and we don't let our immune system get built up, then we are more prone to get sick. This whole epidemic, I don't know if I can say the E word, but it's the whole epidemic. I didn't catch the C word until I barricaded myself in my home. And then I had a friend come over and she gave me the C19. I was so mad. But I wanted to commentate a little bit.
that you intend to homeschool your child is important in keeping an eye on your child's well-being. A risk factor for abuse is isolation. An abusive parent that is not held accountable by a third party, such as a school or the government, can be extremely dangerous. Michelle Blair was a mother of 4 children, who she had with 2 different men, as shown in the diagram. The youngest was Matthew, followed by Stephen, who shared the same father. She then had her 3rd child, Stoney, followed by Gabrielle, who shared the same father. Throughout the video, we will also hear Matthew and Gabrielle referred to by their nicknames, Maddie and Gabby. Michelle and her children resided in an apartment building that was infested with roaches and mold. The 4 children did not have an escape from the conditions since she homeschooled them for the last couple.
Oh, what? This, lady, excuse me. This how y'all living? Please don't tell me this how y'all living. Please don't tell me. I understand a little bit of mess. Got kids. But, for real? This can't be right. What is this? Oh my Lord, let's continue.
The 4 children did not have an escape from the conditions since she homeschooled them for the last couple years that she had custody of them. In 2015, Michelle received an eviction notice for failing to pay her house bill on time. She could not keep a job and had been receiving government financial assistance for her 4 children for many years. The eviction crew entered her house and started to remove her furniture. In the living room, they found a deep freezer. When they opened it, they found the body of 2 children, Stephen, who was 9 years old, and Stoney, who was 13 years old at the time of their deaths. The bodies were stacked on top of one another inside of the freezer. The bodies of the children were and were kept inside this freezer in the middle of the living room for years, all while Michelle and her 2 children lived in the house. As a side note, this
Time out.
image of a freezer.
So it was a chair right there. Like that's where they were doing their schoolwork at. And there were pictures, like they would draw the pictures of the up and down. Like, this is why I'm so big on mental health. This has to be some kind of which they stated in the beginning of the video. Like, literally have your babies in this condition. You didn't two of them. And then you have the other two just around that environment, which is going to over time create mental illness in those two children. And the generational curses continue. So we got to do better. We got to do better. It is so sad. And I had a story telling about something similar that's happening to my neighbors across the street some years ago when I first got married. Back in 2009. Yeah, 2009. A man had off his girlfriend, a baby mama, and some of their children. He had one child with her, but he killed her 2 children with someone else, and literally had the kids in the room. Was sending a girl, his daughter, to school every day, telling her not to say anything. And then their old apartment, her dead in the old apartment. So this kind of stuff, I don't even know what this shit even happens. Like, it makes me not even want to go outside. Don't talk to nobody. No, I ain't dating. Get off me. Back up. Because it's like, oh my God, you just don't know what people suffer through, go through. Let me just
They're shown on screen has been floating around the internet, and some people think it's associated with this case. But a reverse image search reveals that it predates the events of this case, so it is not an accurate representation of where the bodies were kept. It took a few days for the bodies to thaw, so an autopsy could be performed. It was discovered that Stefan died about 2.5 years before the eviction crew found his body, and Stoney had been dead for about 1.5 years. We will now go back to the time when the murders took place. Stephen was killed in August 2012. One day in August, Michelle came home and saw her youngest son, Matthew, playing with dolls in an inappropriate manner. She asked him if anyone had done those things to him, and he replied, yes, Stephen did. Michelle marched to Stephen's room to confront him. In the following clip of Michelle's confession during her trial, we will hear Michelle recount the horrendous abuse she inflicted on Stephen after the doll incident. She will go on to say that she beat him and suffocated him until he was unconscious many times for 2 weeks following the incident, until he succumbed to his injuries.
So I start punching Stephen. You know, I'm like, what the fuck is you doing to him? I just start asking him questions. Matthew at this point is just spilling out. He's just spilling out. And Mom, when he's doing like this, and he do this thing almost every night. He tell me how he did not put bags over his head. Because if he had Maddie, I thought Maddie peed in the bed. My son was never a bedwetter. Even though it was Stephen waking up every morning, pissing on Matthew. The reason I put bags over Stephen's head because my son told me that the plastic on his bed.
Where is the God, please. I mean, to have your child come to you and, well, you see your child playing with Barbie dolls, and they're saying that my sibling is doing this. That don't mean you go in complete rage to your other child. You get your child help. But where is that coming from? You got to get to the root, if anything. find a trigger warning, and I just got to create one. Triggered by this in any
bed because I thought he was a bedwetter. He said, sometimes, Mom, I couldn't breathe. Stephen was laying on me and he had my face down in the plastic on the bed. I couldn't breathe. That's when I got the garbage bag and started putting it over Stephen's head. And I started asking him, you know what I'm saying? You see what this feel like? You can't breathe? Stop him. That's my son. You could not breathe on top of getting ready. You was 6 years old at the time. You get what I'm saying? So I put a bag over his head. He lost consciousness. I did that a couple times. He tell me that Maddie would be face down. He had stuff around his neck. So I grabbed Stephen, I grabbed the belt and I put a belt around his neck and I lifted him up like, do you like how this feels?
Lord Jesus. This is terrible. Even her response to it is terrible. Like, that's just not no way that you respond to both of your kids going through a traumatic experience. So aggressive.
He choked with a belt. So I dropped him. I held him up until he lost consciousness as well.
You were intending to...
No, I did not intend to kill Stephen.
No, I'm not. Listen to my question. You were intending to inflict serious physical harm, but not kill him.
Definitely.
Okay, so then why would you put them into the freezer, ma'am? Did you snap? To me, that's what it sounds like. She snapped and then snapped out of it, but panicked.
Matthew, the youngest child, outlined in detail to his mother the abuse he claimed to endure from his older brother Stephen. This fueled the abuse Michelle inflicted on Stephen. She tried to replicate the pain she believed her son endured. Michelle tells the judge she used scalding hot water to burn Stephen and forced him to drink Windex. According to Matthew, Stephen used the same form of torture on him. Stephen forced Matthew to drink Windex, which made him sick. Michelle brushed it off as a stomach bug at the time.
You also burned it? Yes, I did. Okay, how did you do that? Hot water, scalding.
See, I never heard of this story. And my mom, shout out to my mom. She's always giving me content to bring some very controversial pillow talk that we need to have. It's not comfortable to have them, but they're needed and necessary. So shout out to Mama Day. I love you.
Hot water. In our bathroom, the hot water gets extremely hot. So, his private area, I still spent in the bathtub naked. His kid came off. Yes, I did, because Matthew told me in the middle of the night he had took him in the basement and he made him drink the blue stuff from under the sink. And I was like, what blue stuff? So I walked Maddie downstairs, he showed me what I said. You made Maddie drink fucking Windex. And then
I can understand her frustration. Hearing this come from your child, and she's like, what? Like, why are you doing this to your sibling? But see, that's why we have to get the help that we need ourselves. Because she could be easily going through a mental episode to where she snapped, and then it caused her to harm her other child.
I went back to like years before, and I'm like, is this what was wrong with him? I thought Matthew had the stomach flu. He vomit and have diarrhea. At the same time, at that time, this is what was going around. A lot of people had, so this is what I thought Matthew had. He didn't. Stephen made him drink Windex. But yes, I made that boy drink Windex.
At this point, Stephen had endured multiple weeks of abuse at the hands of his mother. Michelle will describe the moment when Stephen died. He found him in his room, surrounded by vomit and too weak to hold himself upright.
And if I had killed Stephen intentionally, I definitely would be proud to say I did. But I didn't. But I know all the things that I did to him.
Well, wait a minute. How you gonna say I was proud? If I did kill him, I would be proud to say that I killed him. Your flesh and blood that you created, the most beautifulest gift that you gave to this earth is bearing a child. It don't get no greater than being a mother. You're gonna sit up there and say, if I did, I take pride in it, but I didn't mean to? Well, you shouldn't have reprimanded him the way that you did. Instead, you should have helped the child to get better.
How I hurt him, I know it did cause his death. You know what I'm saying? It was like that day, the day that he died, I went in his room, it was throw up in front of him on the bed. I got him up, said he had to go to the bathroom, but he couldn't use the bathroom. By the time he came out the bathroom, his breathing was crazy. Stephen usually has a strong heartbeat, but it was really faint, really faint. And then all of a sudden, he just started going like this, and I was holding him. We both sitting on the floor, and I'm actually holding him up. He couldn't hold himself. I'm like, Stephen, doing like this, because the day before that, I actually said I'm gonna stop because I looked in the room like he is toe up.
Michelle wrapped Stephen and put him in the deep freezer that was sitting in the middle of their living room. He would remain there for the next 2.5 years.
I actually was going to turn myself in right after Stephen died. And I told my son, Matthew, that, I got to go, and I got to go turn myself into the police. I got to go turn myself in. And he said, turn yourself into what? And I said, Matthew, turn myself into the police. That means I got to go because I killed somebody. And then he said, I don't want you to go. And he said that was it. So I put Stephen in the freezer, and I said, I'm going to stay with my kids as long as possible.
9 months later, Michelle found out that Stoney, the second oldest child, who was 13 at the time, was inappropriately touching Matthew as well. It was claimed that Stoney wrung out her menstrual pad in Matthew's mouth. While she took a minute this time.
What? Wait a... Whoa. Are you serious? What is going on in this household for these kids to be doing this stuff to each other? Oh my God.
Time to reflect, Michelle will react with extreme rage and began to abuse Stoney. You will hear Michelle discuss the abuse she inflicted on Stoney.
I intentionally killed her.
How did you do that?
Starting from the beginning, when I found out about what Stoney was doing to Matthew, it was 9 months later after finding out about Stephen. So for the whole 9 months, we were in the house. She was still raping my child. Did not know that. When I first found out, after Maddie told me, I took a minute because I was not understanding, what was that she did that to him. But I repeatedly punched her on many occasions. My son, I told him to tell me every single thing she did to him. So as he was telling me more and more things that she did, I assaulted her every time she told me what she did to him. By assault, I mean I punched her. I had put a bag over her head until she lost consciousness.
We gotta have a laugh break real quick. Because I'm like, Mel in the chat. I'm steady going through the chat. I'm like, I don't see her. I know somebody ain't blocked Mel. Girl. I was all sorts of confused. But then I was like, well, maybe she didn't mean to say Mel. Like we get like that sometimes, girl. Oh, got to have a laugh break real quick. That's a little bit too serious. We're gonna have to loosen up a little. Oh God. All right. Yeah, we definitely needed a laugh break. I think we got a little bit too serious. I mean, I'm sitting up here staring at the damn screen like, oh, I'm ready to grab the back of her head and yank her through the screen. Oh, it's okay, girl. But I'll be mailbag. It's all good, honey.
I threw hot water on her, scalding hot water from the faucet.
Hit her in the head yourself?
Yes, I hit her on her head multiple times, over and over.
Was that shortly before she died?
That was actually the day before she died and the day she died. I hit on her back, like on her tailbone. I kicked her. I actually had a stick and I was hitting her in the head. Every time he told me something, I hit her very hard in her head and I was throwing hot water on her.
Michelle claims that Stoney and Stephen used to abuse Matthew together. In her eyes, both Stoney and Stephen needed to be punished, and this was the only way. Eventually, Michelle strangled Stoney to death. Michelle forced her older teenage daughter, Gabby, who was in her late teens at the time, to pick up Stoney's body and put it in the freezer on top of Stephen's frozen body. The body of Stoney.
No, she definitely won't survive prison. She looked hard body now, but they're going to slaughter her in prison. They do not like people that mess with children, period. Either murder them or touch them. And let alone you had all this going on. And I try to psychological thing that they said that Michelle, that's another name, she was sexually abused as a child. So she may have in return seen her kids as her abuse. And, I'm no medical professional. I like the mind, and I'm not a medical professional. I'm just thinking of different ways in all aspects from every which way. And she may have seen her abusers in her children. Is that right? Fuck no. Like, that's why I say mental health is so important. Because it all this could have been avoided. They prayed up for sure. It seems like it's like a generational curse. She may have endured things like her son did. And she's like, oh no, I don't want him to go through the life that I live because I was touched inappropriately. I can only imagine, the issues in this home. Woo!
Age 13, would remain in the living room freezer for about a year and a half before she would be discovered. During her trial, Michelle was asked by the judge if she ever witnessed any of the claimed abuse. Her response was defensive and self-assured. Michelle quickly tried to argue against any doubt the court attempted to raise.
You ever actually seen anything of any sexual abuse of any kind between either Stephen and Stoney?
I reject her question, but I will answer it because no one will say that this did not happen because it actually did.
I just want to have a clear record. And so far, all you told me was that you just heard it.
And that they admitted it. No, I did not. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I understand.
But as I went back in my head and thought back to all the many things that was wrong with Matthew over the years, and I'm like, that's what was wrong with you? You use the bathroom.
Okay, so we got another angle. Here. She never witnessed that only the son, am I hearing this correctly? Only the son came up and said this thing happened, and then she elaborated the story. Y'all let me know if I'm hearing this. I might have to run it back. I'll run it back.
Mama, as I went back in my head and thought back to all of it, what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I
But
understand.
as I went back in my head and thought back to all the many things that was wrong with Matthew over the years, and I'm like, that's what was wrong with you? He'll use the bathroom and say, Mom, my butt hurts when I poop. I don't know, Matthew. So I started giving him 100% juice to make his stool softer, maybe to help him use that. That wasn't the problem. It wasn't his stool. It was that he was being raped. Basically the same thing. Can I ask you a question first? The people standing behind me, this woman who just asked the question, is she trying to make it seem like this did not happen?
No. We just have to have a clear record.
Okay.
So, did this not happen? Is this something that all what she said in her head? She was thinking that these things were happening to her children, but they wasn't. Because this is very explicit, detailed things that she's saying. Did these things actually happen? Or not? Did she just make these things up? Angela's so sad, honey, so sad. Yeah. Oh, she's yeah. Whew.
Okay.
This is your time to talk. Go ahead.
I'm trying to get this information.
I mean, right now, ma'am, this is just you choosing to plead guilty. Not having any sort of plea agreement.
Yeah, because it's like I'm willing to take a polygraph test. It's like I understand people don't want to hear me, period, but I'm willing to know everything.
The reason Michelle had such a strong reaction and denial of any doubt in her story likely stemmed from her childhood. In a separate interview, Michelle recounted the abuse she endured as a child. She claims a family friend inappropriately touched her when she was very young. When she brought the concern to her own mother, she was rejected. Her mother didn't validate Michelle's feelings about the abuse that she endured. She carried this deep-seated lack of validation and trust into her adult life. We will see her become defensive if she thinks others are questioning her story's legitimacy. This brings us to the question of whether the children's sexual abuse onto one another was true. During Michelle's trial, the prosecution and defense argued both sides whether the abuse among the siblings took place. No physical evidence was ever found that corroborated Michelle's claims that her children were abusing each other. If the abuse did happen, the question is, where did the children learn it from? Children hardly understand sexuality, much less how to perform.
Now, I said that earlier, like, it had to come from somewhere. Children do not just automatically do things. They're learned. Even if it's from just TV, what they watch, things are learned.
Acts on others without seeing it or hearing about it from somewhere. Michelle herself may have been the source. Michelle didn't want her children to suffer like she did as a child, so she decided to tell them about the inappropriate touching she experienced in order to prevent the same thing from happening to them. She informed her young children about all the abuse she endured as a child in graphic detail. We will hear her recount how she explained this to her children.
See, and that is where we shouldn't have been. Yes, prevention, to explain to your children this is what happened. We need to prevent this, but to go into graphic detail about that child. We're gonna let Michelle explain.
I told my mother what happened to me. And the only thing she said was, it's all you want me to do about it. It ain't what I want you to do. You know what I'm saying? So all I could do is go back and sit in my room and just sit there and look stupid. I'm a kid. And I'm just telling you what happened to me. You didn't think about it. And plus, I still had to see the person coming in and out my house. You're still friends with that person. Make sure I told my kids this. I told them what happened to me, how it happened to me, how made me feel in detail. And I say, if anybody ever touches y'all, you gotta tell me. They knew. I always talk to my kids about that touching anybody. So they definitely knew. And this is the part that really gets me. I used to tell her, rape is the worst thing you can do. Just make I tell her all the time. They used to make me feel like I was nothing. It made me feel like I was. You turn around and you do that to my son, you knew exactly what she was doing to him. She was exactly what she was doing.
So did she have some type of vendetta against her oldest sister and her other son? Did she completely just make this stuff up? Like, those are the questions that we answer. Did he say he didn't feel comfortable and that maybe he got touched by one of the sons, her other sons back then, and he didn't even mean in a sexual way, he just meant like they touched him, and in her mind it meant sexual abuse.
So yes, and I don't care if anybody thinks. Yes, period.
Telling a young child about sexual acts in this type of graphic detail can harm them deeply. This may have been the fuel the children used, either to perform the acts or to fabricate them. It is totally possible the abuse happened, as Michelle described in court. However, what if the abuse didn't happen? Why would a child accept the accusations? While it is important to believe a person that claims to suffer from abuse, especially if the victim is a child, it is also important to ensure the child is not fabricating the abuse.
That's why she should have, as soon as those accusations was made by the child, he should have immediately took that child to the hospital and then took the other child to counseling, to a therapist. Instead, he used that as, like, I guess maybe she had like a flashback.
He or she may not understand the gravity of the situation, especially when their own mother is talking about it in such graphic detail.
I had always told my kids the worst thing he could ever do to somebody is rape them. I always told my son that, and I always told the girl.
He could have been mad at his siblings. They didn't give him his candy. They took his favorite toy away, and he said, we might, I'm just giving different aspects. He could have been like, oh, Mama said the worst thing you could do, because she just did the worst thing to me. She took my toy. He took my toy. I'm going to say that. We're going to look at all points of views.
Girls, the worst thing you could do is cry rape on somebody if they didn't rape.
It may have been that Matthew said his siblings were abusing him to either get back at them, knowing how his mother would react, or for the sake of attention. Michelle claimed that the children she killed confessed to abusing Matthew, but she also confessed to beating them while
Angela, you are so correct. She didn't know how to get help. She never did.
questioning them most of the time. They may have simply confessed to make the beating stop. Again, there wasn't any physical evidence to corroborate the claims that the children were sexually abusing one another. But that is not to say that it did not happen. These are simply the arguments the prosecution and defense raised in court. Either way, there is no justification for Michelle's actions. The sexual abuse Michelle endured as a child may have contributed to her violent actions. Michelle's abusive childhood may have led to structural abnormalities of the corpus callosum. And without proper psychological help, it could have very well led to conduct disorder, which is characterized by aggressive, deceptive, and destructive behavior. This would explain her violent reactions toward her children, In the many lies she would tell to her family and friends to keep the deaths of her children a secret, her tendency to disregard the safety of her children, and the horrific conditions in which she kept her home. The abuse she inflicted on her children may have also had a cathartic effect. It may have been the release of power she always wanted as a child, but never had. Michelle knew that no one protected her growing up, and she believed that killing 2 of her children was a way to show Matthew that he was protected and loved. It is something she never had as a child.
My son is 8 years old right now. He's gonna forget a lot about me, okay? When he look back at all this media coverage from these bottom feeders, I don't want him to see that I stood here like a coward. I did what I did, and I did what I did for my baby, period. He gonna see me standing up, taking my responsibility. I will happily do life in prison for my child. That's period. And I just told you, my son's gonna forget a lot of things about me, but he will.
Now, I think we all as mothers gonna do anything for our child, but not take our other child's life. Because what if Matthew comes later and says, they never did that, and I was just so angry. And you have to live with that for the rest of your life. The other 2 kids out of this world. That's why she just should have got them back. If I'm gonna save a life, I'm gonna save a life. Okay, this is on top of that.
Will not forget. He goes on media websites or whatever, looking back over the years. He is old enough to understand exactly what I did. I want him to look back. He's going to know how important he was and still is. I'm happily saying, life in prison. That death penalty, I would take that. I don't care.
This is not a stranger you killed, though. You're taking pride in killing your children. This is why I feel like it's a disconnect. It's a disconnect. If she was to done this to a stranger, I'd be like, yes, Mom, stand up, because best believe I'm a step, and I'm an AK-47. Somebody they touch mine. So I get it when she comes to that, but not her own child.
That's my baby, period.
Michelle was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. She stated that if Michigan had the death penalty, then she would have wanted to be put to death. Michigan was not only the first state in the U.S. to abolish the death penalty, in fact, it was the first English-speaking government in the world to abolish the death penalty in 1846. During Michelle's sentencing, the judge left no doubt she found Michelle's actions repulsive and condemnable. We will hear the judge's reasons for imposing the maximum sentence she could under the circumstances.
As a mother, one of your primary responsibilities is to protect the child. And in that respect, you failed in the worst possible way. There's nothing that can be done at this point to change what happened.
True, that's why I'm asking for life.
I know. But thankfully, that house of horrors that you created is no longer in existence. I do pray that your remaining children
They will.
recover
They will.
from what they saw and endured in that household.
You don't
What
know.
struck me as rather unnerving was that you stated your kids got it better than what you had. I fail to see how that's possible when you're still here.
Right.
You're talking about the deceased children?
No. Let me talk. This thing won't happen to you when you were a child. You had the opportunity to grow up.
True.
You had the opportunity to become an adult. You had the opportunity to make your own decisions with respect to running your own life. And you were left with 4 children. Stoney and Stephen are never going to have that. They don't have those same opportunities. And when I think about all of the possible joys that they could be missing out on, one thing that strikes me as the greatest tragedy here is that they will never know what a life is like without experiencing fearing their mother. They will never know the joy of what could have been in their life without having you in it. They lived in terrible fear of you. And I find that just so sad in this case. After all is said and done, you imposed the death penalty on your own children.
I did.
And you readily admit it, and you want to take responsibility of it. You're therefore sentenced to the Michigan Department of Corrections for the rest of your life without the possibility of parole.
Since Michelle had been in jail, she had been charged twice with assaulting guards, and she had over 40 other incidences since 2015. She had been known to get in physical altercations, spit, and throw her urine on fellow inmates in jail. In June 2015, Michelle was also in court for a child protective proceeding in relation to her 2 living children. The Michigan Department of Health and Human Services sought to terminate her parental rights, along with the parental rights of the 2 fathers of the children. During this court proceeding, one of Michelle's friends testified against her. Her friend stated that she received a concerning text message from Michelle's phone. When she brought it Michelle's attention, she said that her daughter Stoney sent it. These messages were dated October 2014, and Stoney was killed May 2013, meaning the messages were sent more than a year after her death. Why Michelle would blame her dead child for a text message she clearly sent shows one way that she would try and hide her children's death from others. Michelle would lie to many other people about the whereabouts of her dead children. Again, her children were hidden in the freezer for multiple years, yet no one noticed. Michelle would come up with as many lies as were necessary to keep this a secret. For example, right after Michelle killed Stephen, she pulled all her children out of school. She simply lied to the school that they were moving. She would also lie to the fathers of her children when they tried to see them. This led to the children's complete isolation.
I told him that he was at my aunt.
What?
Yes, I did. I just told you I lied.
No, she doesn't know the difference between a truth and a lie. All she knows is fabrication, in my opinion, to get the reaction that she wants. Like, am I making sense? Like, that's all she knows is to say things that is going to persuade the people to believe you. No matter what she's going to say, she's going to say things that are way far out there. It seems like, just so people can believe what she's saying. So she doesn't know the truth between different. Well, I guess yes, she knows the difference between the truth and a lie. She doesn't care.
That Gabrielle and Matthew were not going to attend because they were moving?
I did. I know the difference between truth and a lie. I definitely lied. I told them that we were moving because Stephen was dead. In September school we started. So, yes, I'm pretty sure they would have been looking for, like, why Stephen is in school. So, yes, I told them that we weren't coming back because I was moving. After I found out about what Stephen was doing.
Can you give me a time period for that?
That was in August. That was in August of 2012.
How was your relationship?
Well, I basically stopped talking to my aunt, period. At one point, she used to come over every day. That's how she was. Like, she loved us. And she loved all of us. Like, she checked for us. If mom wasn't there, she looked like, hey, where they upstairs? She loved all of us. And I knew if anybody would know anything wrong, it would be my aunt. So I purposely kept her away, meaning I was just nasty to her for no reason. You get what I'm saying? And it hurt her. That really hurt her because I know she missed me, she missed the kids, but she never stopped coming. She would knock on the door. Sometimes I would open the door like, what? You get what I'm saying? And it hurt me.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. So that's
Look,
why I took
we went all over on this live today.
Because she was the only one that would really know that something was not right.
Glad you came by, though. I appreciate
She
it.
was looking for everybody. She loved us. The only person in my entire life who ever loved.
I agree.
It was ruled that Michelle and Matthew's dad would lose parental rights. This was seen as Matthew's best chance at a bright future since he would be adopted. On the other hand, Gabby's dad was granted parental rights since she was 18 at the time. She would live on her own and would be eligible for 2 years of court-provided services like therapy, schooling, and housing. Although it might seem unfair for an absent father like Gabby's to keep parental rights, the judge did this on purpose, as it would allow Gabby to receive the additional support from the court. When the 2 surviving children were rescued from Michelle, they were medically examined. There was evidence of physical abuse. Matthew had over 20 scars all over his body, and Gabby, the oldest child, had marks on her as well. The marks were consistent with both children being beaten with an extension cord. Gabby had a cut above her eye and told the medical examiners that she was hit in the head with a 2x4 piece of wood. They also noticed she had a broken front tooth. Gabby told them that her mother hit her with a curling iron. Michelle had already beaten and killed 2 of her children she thought were being inappropriate, and these are the supposed innocent children in her eyes, and yet she still took out her rage and insecurities on them. In 2015, the same year that the bodies of Michelle's 2 children were found, Representative Stephanie Chang of Michigan introduced a bill to help prevent parents from hiding child abuse under the disguise of homeschooling. The bill, called House Bill 4498 of 2015, would require parents to register with the school district and meet twice a year to check on the children's well-being. Unfortunately, this bill was never passed by Michigan's House of Representatives. Michigan is one of 11 states that do not require any notice or follow-up contact with the government when a parent pulls a child out of school for homeschooling. In view of the case of Michelle's children, we can hope that one day every jurisdiction will have in place laws to check on the well-being of every child that is homeschooled, so all the suffering of Michelle's children will not be in vain. Do you think Michelle used 2 of her children's actions as an excuse to be abusive? Did she have an impulsive reaction from her childhood trauma?
Yep.
Thank you for watching, and join me next time when we explore the psychological maze of some of the most...
I definitely agree, and agree some more. What are your thoughts? Hey, girl. I hope you're feeling better, love. Well, what are y'all thoughts? Let's go talk. Do y'all think that Michelle, I want to say Michelle, or I want to say Mitchell? No. But do y'all think that she was mentally insane? Do you think that she fabricated the stories of her children so that she could possibly, feel like she was, I guess, telling the truth? I'm trying to put the words together, right? Y'all know what I'm saying. Do you think that she lied on what her son said so that it was an excuse of why she did that? Do you think she actually believed that he was being used? Maybe, she thought that his kid did the child lie. These are all the things that are going through my head that my heart hurts. Because at the end of the day, these 2 children to where the point they could have been so mentally scarred that they could never do this to their children. That's why we have to do better for our future generations. Stop the generational curses, put an end to it, so that our future, our children's future, our grandchildren's future will be brighter. So they don't have to endure some of the pain that we had to endure. But that's what Michelle was saying. That she was doing that because she felt like she endured so much pain by not being protected that she had to protect herself. But that's not how you protect yourself. Now he has to live in a life of fear, of humiliation at the end of the day. She had to be mentally deficit to be that big. I agree. I think she was mentally could go. Yeah, I agree with you too. These kind of conversations be having me all over the place, be having me feel like I'm damn bipolar. And be like, but wait a minute. But this, welcome to Day World. No, but I know I kicked y'all out earlier and then brought y'all back. I'm gonna need y'all to get out my bed. It's time for me to take a nap. I mean, y'all could stay with me. Y'all can lay back. But I'm tired. I'll be back. Yeah, I'll be back later on. Yeah, we was triggered. We were triggered during this whole video, this whole hour and a half video, and we probably even triggered some people by the conversation that we had in the chat. Because seriously, I don't even know if I want to say literally or seriously, we got into some things. And I appreciate you guys being here. I really, really do.
So we'll piss off the